Commissioner Yower,
Here.
Commissioner Rosales hasn't shown up yet, Joe Shaw's here, Commissioner Schindler,
Here.
Commissioner Dubnik, Carrollwood County Clerk's Office. Here. Please stand and join us in opening prayer and state the name of the pledge of allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we ask you to be with us as we start this new year to conduct business for the county. We ask you to help us make wise decisions. We ask you to bless us with rain we're so badly need. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next item on the agenda is citizens to be heard.
There's one, Mr. Yarder.
Good morning. I'd like to speak on items 12 and 13 this morning, under 13 and 14. And 14, discuss approve modification of contract order. And under emergency amendment, I would recommend that you not discuss this item. We should formally authorize an emergency expenditure as an amendment to the original budget only in case of a grave public necessity to meet an unusual or unforeseen condition not included in the original budget through the use of reasonably diligent thought and attention. It appears to me that because the Commissioner's Court cannot have a long-range plan for roads, that this has been an ongoing issue for quite some time now and could have reasonably been thought of. Because the courts have rendered, and this is an Attorney General opinion letter dated number 97-051, because the courts have rendered budget amendments invalid in cases where Commissioners Courts failed to state the facts justifying emergency amendment. Commissioners Court would be wise to make funding regarding the emergency, which is to say you can certainly fund this, but you would have to do it by another means. That would be under the number 13. Number 14, I would recommend you not discuss that either because it does not meet the requirements as specified that the notice posted is sufficient to alert the public in general terms of the subjects that will be considered at the meeting. However, descriptions such as old business, new business, other business, personnel, and litigation matters are not sufficiently detailed to meet the requirements of the Act. It's also important to note that by the presiding officer's own requirements, that anything put before the Commissioner's Court has to be sufficiently detailed so that anybody can understand it, and also that the author be included. These two details have not been met in this particular agenda item. Are there any questions? Thank you.
Number 6 on the agenda is pursuant to Chapter 71 of the Texas Natural Resources Code, Commissioners Court will discuss and take action authorizing the solicitation of proposal leases for mineral development of 18.776 acres of land, more or less containing 48 tracts situated in the town site of Karnes City, Karnes County, Texas, establishing a minimum bid, authorizing publication of notice, and setting date for bid opening and public hearing for consideration of bids. You'll have in your little deal, in your little package, it says agenda language on top. Leon, I provided Carol's one of these for both of you guys. What this is you'll see where it says leasing minerals rights to 18.776 acres. That's not one tract of 18.776 acres. That's 48 small tracts with a little chunk here and a little chunk there that they want to advertise for bid for request for proposals.
But your agenda language says 21.627 acres and 64 tracts, so what's the difference?
No, my agenda says 18.776.
The agenda language on the front of this
Well, I
that
actually
you,
have a copy of that. I don't
Is
have.
yours not in there?
No,
Somebody
I don't have
picked it
a
up.
copy. I don't have a copy.
Yours in there, Tracy? No. Did I give y'all's away? This one's wrong. I tell you what, Luana, on the agenda language on the notice to bid is right. We just need to change this one. Alva, when she initially brought it to me, it said, 21.627 acres. And then Alva and I went back through it and found out there was a lot of things in there repetitively, and we fixed it on the agenda, but I didn't change it on this sheet right here. That's just a cover sheet that I made. So I have it right on the agenda. I just, huh? Did I not just, I know I made y'all copies of this.
I will find one.
Here's one. Carol, can we borrow yours real quick? Sorry. All those copies were on the table. They might have,
got it mixed up with
well, either that or somebody picked them up, because they're on that table up there. So what that is Alva brought that to me requesting that we advertise for bids, because that's the property out there. We
Those
went-
are lots scattered all over town.
Yes, here's the description on those lots. I wanted to make y'all copies of all this because you can look at this, but there was no reason just to throw it away. Because here's the different descriptions. And it's 48. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't change my cover sheet on that, but I did change it on the agenda. So it's right on the agenda.
And it's not changed in the request for proposals either.
We'll change it in there before we do it. I have it right on the agenda.
Okay. So you are going to submit this to the paper?
I can or you can, I don't care who does.
And then we need to know which papers it's going in.
It only has
If
to go
it's
in,
just local.
just local. Do y'all wanna see the land?
I've seen the description, I know.
So is it 18 acres or is it 20?
I don't think so.
It's what's on the agenda showing, it's 18.776. When Alva first brought it to me, they had, duplicates in there. We took the duplicates out and got it on it. And then there's the table of contents for the request for proposals.
So this proposal will be amended to change to match the agenda?
Mm-hmm. What's on the agenda is correct.
So they're just gonna give us a bid on how much they want to
Well,
go for.
by statute, you have to advertise it. That's where the table of contents, the request for proposals are. We advertise it, we have to run it in the paper, I believe, is it 3 weeks?
Yes.
We have to run it in the paper for 3 weeks, and sealed bids will come in, and then we open the bids, and it gets awarded to the highest bidder by statute. That's all we're doing.
There's no motion in this.
Yes, we do.
I would need a motion.
Mhm.
I make a motion that we advertise for a mineral lease, development of 18.776 acres in the town site of Karnes City, as proposed in this item.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None, motion carries 4-0. Number 7 on the agenda is to discuss, approve, disapprove the purchase of an XPS 8500 Dell computer in the amount of $1,078.98 for Karnes County 911 address and office, and the author is Tracy Schindler.
Okay. Well, we have a new person in there and we only have one computer and we need to buy another one for 911 and update everything. I'll make the motion to approve purchasing the XPS 8500 Dell computer in the amount of $1,078.98 for the Karnes County 911 address and office.
I second that motion.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? None, motion carries 4-0. Number 8, approve amending the 911 office budget for the purchase of is that on there twice?
No, one was purchased and one is amending.
There you go, thank you. for amending the budget of XPS 8500 Dell computer in the amount of $1,078.98, and that's Tracy. We have to pay for it.
And, we got to amend the budget, so I'll make a motion to approve amending the 911 office budget purchase of XPS 8500 Dell computer in the amount of $1,078.98.
I second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None, motion carries 4-0. Number 9, discuss, approve, disapprove project proposal fiscal year 2012-2013, Karnes County addressing and training submitted by Alamo Area Council of Governments, and that's Tracy.
This is, we've had some help train our young lady and get us all back up to par on our 911 addressing, so we have to address him, and then what do we got? We need to put this amount on there so we can amend the budget to pay him. Or is that the next one?
That's the
That's the
next
next
item.
one.
Okay, I'll make the motion to approve project proposal FY 2012 and 2013 Karnes County addressing training submit by the Alamo Area Council of Government.
I second that.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? None, motion carries 4-0. Number 10, excuse me, disapprove amending the budget to pay for ACOG to assist with updating the outstanding oil drill site 911 addresses that need to be issued in Karnes County for a total cost of $1,143.52.
I make the motion to approve amending the budget to pay the ACOG to assist with us of outstanding oil drilling sites 911 addressing that need to be issued by Karnes County for a total cost of $1,143.52.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? None, motion carries 4-0. Number 11 is to discuss, approve, disapprove an out-of-cycle bill payment to CRC Locksmith in the amount of $286.10. And I put that on there. We had some lock changing done on some of the doors, and we just need to pay the guy. And he came after the bills had been posted.
I make the motion to approve an out-of-cycle bill payment to the CRC Locksmith in an amount of $286.50.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? None, motion carries 4-0. Number 12 is to discuss, approve, disapprove entering into an interlocal agreement with the Witt and other similarly situated counties to contract for professional Steve Holzhauser, a consultant to attend, assist, and represent in communicating positions on legislation and administrative actions to the Texas Legislature and the executive agencies of the state of Texas, and the Kanawha County Judge to execute if approved. I put that on there. There's a contract in your package that you might have looked at. What this is we've been going to Austin a lot to meet with the Transportation Committee, and Judge Fowler and I have been going a lot to get this done. And what it is we went, I think the last time we went was on the 18th of December. And when we were meeting with the legislators in legislative session and with senators and stuff, Jim Allison went and presented in front of the Transportation Committee for us. And it seems like there's a lot of confusion and clarification in some of these oil field areas about the roads being tore up and funding and how we're going to get that funding and what we're going to do. Everybody thinks that we can just take that out of the road and bridge account and just miraculously fix the roads, but we don't have that authority. We don't have that much money coming into the road and bridge fund like a lot of people think we do. We probably have hundreds of millions of dollars worth of road damage, and we don't have that much in the road and bridge account. So what ended up happening is Judge Fowler and I got together with Judge Till and Judge Huff, and we started looking at ways to see if we could get somebody to assist us with this county road issue, because it's not going to be an easy position to get these people to come in and understand exactly what's going on. There's a lot of, nobody understands how dilapidated our roads are. Nobody understands the problems that we're having. And what it is you'll see what we're looking for is a severance tax allocation of the counties. We're asking for some of that back still, and we're asking for legislation to either authorize counties to negotiate an oil and gas lease under our roadways, or at least the bonus royalty to pay for damages. And we're asking that the effective tax rate modification alleviate the need to publish alarming tax rate increases and notices. Because what's happening with this road thing is it's just getting so blown out of proportion that we're not able to keep up. Well, Judge Till and Judge Huff and Judge Fowler are all having the same problems. And so when we've been to Austin a few times. Pete's gone with me a couple of times. And I've actually sat down and discussed this with her when we were talking about the need for the help, because we need somebody to keep their eyes on these bills every day, and we have nobody to keep their eyes on these bills every day. And so if we enter into a contract with the lobbyist, or we do something with somebody that's able to be there and represent Karnes County on a daily basis, in the new transportation code, county roads are mentioned twice. So we have 3 specific bills we're watching out for. If those fall, our county roads are not going to be able to get the funding that they need to be able to be upkept. And DeWitt County has already approved this. They're going to do it. They've entered into the agreement with Steve Holzhauser. They've asked us to, because we've been together. I talked to Judge Till, and so has Judge Fowler. Judge Till is going to take this in front of the court on the 14th. His hope is that it passes.
Judge Till is who?
McMullen.
Hope is Slavo?
Yes, sir.
And when you say bills, you're talking about legislative bills?
Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry, legislative bills, excuse me, not bills that we have to pay. But,
Didn't want it to sound like I wasn't watching them.
huh?
I didn't want it to sound like I wasn't watching the bills.
Well, we knew of that stuff.
So anyway, it's just, there's a greater need in Austin than the 5 of us can provide. We can't be there every day, we can't be watching those bills, we can't be on top of this, we can't be meeting with the senators every day, we can't be doing it. There's just not enough of us to go around. And so, this is what we're looking at doing.
And this is something that taxpayer dollars can fund?
Yes. DeWitt County's is funding it. It's not a, I mean, Ross looked over the agenda, he said it was fine. It's-
Okay, I looked over this contract that they have with DeWitt County, and I called Mr. Holzhausen yesterday and spoke with him. He says he has a signed copy with DeWitt County, which says they will pay $90,000. Of course, they can get out of the contract by stopping paying, but it's a monthly payment. Okay, so, he said I had to have a contract in hand to start speaking before the legislature, because I have to file my name and bills that I'm going to be attending. So he has this contract signed with DeWitt County. Now, what we have to do, or what we would like to do, is to support DeWitt County and pay part of that cost that he has signed up for. Talking with Mr. Holzhauser, he said he is willing to accept modified language, including other counties, into this agreement. That'd be Karnes, Live, B, McMullen, or whatever counties. That's the same amount of $90,000, so we can share the cost. So he's willing to accept amending the contract and let us pay for part of it. And I also asked him, would I be allowed, or would Judge Shaw be allowed to call and talk to him personally and get information, or does it all have to come from DeWitt County since that's the original contract? He said, no, I will speak with you about that. I also asked him about if there are other questions, other bills that we're interested in, would he represent us on that? He said, I will give you any information that I can, to a modest extent, to keep you informed of what's going on, but I will not represent you on anything else. This is specifically for road repair funds to be derived in some way from the monies that go to the state, which come directly from our counties, but we're not getting benefit for it. Y'all heard here in this court before that we received, what, $28,000, something like that. Is that about the amount?
For actual fees.
And we had $117 million went in, or some amount like that went in from the gas and oil royalties from this county, and we got $28,000 back. So this is an attempt to get a larger portion back with the damages being done. And so,
Mr. Wodarski just asked me if this gentleman also represents any other entities as far as lobbying.
He might represent other entities,
I
but
don't
this,
know what else he represents.
wait a second, let me answer that question before we go any further, but before, The way that we found Steve, I mean, it wasn't like, okay, we just found Steve yesterday or today or something. You're just now seeing it on the agenda today. But Daryl and I started working on this probably sometimes back in October when we realized that the legislative issue was not going to be as pretty as foreseen with the severance tax issues and stuff. Mr. Holzhauer is a former legislator from the Golden Crescent region, and he was the head of the Energy Commission at one time. So that's how we found him. Will he be he will not represent anybody within the energy industry, if that's what the question is. He does not represent any energy industry. He can't do that. You have to follow with the Ethics Commission of who you're representing, which is the reason for the contract having to be changed, is the Ethics Commission has to know who your folks are. You can't just say, oh, I just want that, so I'm gonna do it. You can't do that. Does that answer your question?
I spent one day there with Barbara and all these committees, and we went before 3 or 4 committees in one day and presented our plea, and of course they all sounded good, but they said y'all have to stay on it, y'all have to keep the legislators informed, et cetera, and so we can't be up there every day, and I think the amount that we can do this for, if we get 4 counties to go together, the $22,500 could be a good investment. That we may get several million back for it, from it.
My thing is, okay, Zaffarini's district runs right through the heart of all this. And I think we ought to be in her ear as well.
Yes, we've spoken with her, and she says she supports us and so forth, but there's lots of others out there that we need to be sure that, that it's being watched. I don't know. You can call an office. Zaffarini and find out.
Jim Allison he's helping us with all this. And one of the things that came out of it when we were all up there is he says, you need bigger eyes than mine, because I'm watching 380-something bills for the Texas Association of Counties this year. And they're all trying to help Shelby, but we just need somebody watching these bills to see what happens. I mean, nobody's going to watch these bills and report back to us. And Steve also said, Steve Holzhauer, I guess Pete said that he called Steve. Steve said he would talk to any of the 5 of us at any time. I have a card for you. I will share it. I will give it to you. I just think that our county roads are in such bad shape that we have all these people living out on these county roads that are getting no help whatsoever. And if somebody can help, I mean, now's the time to get it. Because if we don't get it now, we're not going to be able to get it. I mean, getting it through our taxpayers is not going to be the answer.
Especially for fixing the farm to market road.
Oh,
The farm to market road is worse than the county road.
but we're not going to pick on anybody because we know how bad it feels.
And of course, the bills that they propose should include repair of state highway too. This is not.
It's a 400-page bill that's out there.
Get some of this money from the oil and gas industry back into the roads and repair them.
This person here, Steve, 3 other counties already hired him?
No, one county hired him. I think he came in a little late on it, but he has this contract.
He has with
is
DeWitt.
signed- is signed with DeWitt County.
You were talking about going in 4 ways, so there's 2 other counties beside us that may want him?
McMullen's going to, Judge Till's having it on the agenda on the 14th, is his next meeting. And I don't know I can't remember what Judge Huff said to me. But I know he was contemplating entering into it because Judge Till was coming back and talking to him the day he called me.
And this guy, I'm sorry, this guy came recommended, or this gentleman came recommended from DeWitt, DeWitt County. Did they do it? I'm sure there's more. Did they go through 4 or 5 different people before they chose this guy, or they just chose him because they knew him?
No, we actually talked to a couple of different lobbyists, and the way that the reason that Steve was the one that was kind of most impressive to us is he was on the Energy Committee when he was a legislator. And he knows those people, and he knows, he can manipulate around the stuff that needs to be done at the Capitol. I want somebody that's familiar with that can be on top of it.
He was there 12 or 14 years as a legislator. And then he was on the Energy Committee. I mean, he was on the Energy Committee. So he has a lot of experience.
Have y'all met him?
I haven't.
Have you met him? I haven't met him either. Before we would vote on him, I would like him to come and present something to us, in my opinion.
But wait a second, James, legislative session started today. He's not gonna be able, they're done now. They're gonna be in Austin every day watching bills. Today's kickoff.
You know, I mean, I'm just saying, I would like to hear more about him. I know what Pete's saying, I, you know, trust and believe in what you're saying and everything, but I don't have nothing in front of me in black and white, what he's done, where he's been, or like that. And I don't know who he is.
He's got something on one of his sheets says that you can check on the website.
Yes, he has a full webpage of his ethics reports and of everything else. I didn't even think to print those for y'all. because
But anyway, it's,
It's on his website?
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
What is his website?
but I called yesterday, he answered on the
Mm-hmm. He'll answer the phone every time you call him. He'll answer his cell phone. You can go print it?
No, I'm
And what about this new representative, Klein Schmidt, Klein Kennedy?
Well, I mean, Austin's just it's a different kind of thing. We can sit there and say, yes, you know, that we're talking to our representatives all day long. But if we don't have somebody watching these specific bills, that's the problem. I mean, just the hustle and the bustle and the going on in the Capitol, you know, the lobbyists are probably the strongest branch of government we have right now, which is probably not, you know, what people want to hear, but it's the truest thing. I mean, you really need somebody protecting your interests while you're up there. And in the Eagle Ford Shale area, we're dying. Our county roads are dying, just like in the Permian Basin or anywhere else that they're bringing in these heavy trucks. So you might be affecting, what, 200 counties in Texas? I mean, so it's not something that everybody's going to be on top of. We just need that extra help.
So Judge, if we do get this money, are we prepared on how we're gonna spend it?
I mean, that's going to be something that Jeffrey's going to have to
You
do.
know, it's neither here nor there right now. The deal is this. You know, we have enough, I mean, I believe in the lobbyist system because I know they do some good. But my question is too, is that I don't know how much we have done or how much the court has done to modify or to try to create what tools been available for us to work to do more on these roads. I mean, you know, stuff like that. I mean, you're asking to spend 45,000, 22,000. Now, that's good, but that's one employee or two employees or three employees. If you look at it that way, not that that would help fix the roads. But what I'm saying is that I'm kind of mixed over this right now because if the other counties don't go in, and they might be in better shape than we are, other than the county, other than the farm market roads. You know, it's a lot of ifs in there, a lot of little caveats I'd like to know more.
I think that DeWitt's already in. I mean, they're in, they've done it. Judge Fowler has already executed it. They executed it the day after Christmas, after we met with Holzhauer on the 18th. They met, their last commissioners court meeting was on the 26th, and that's when they did it. As far as, you know, other ways out, the road damage is, it's so substantial. I mean, nobody, I don't know if anybody in here lives on a county road, but if you drive down those county roads, if you have a small car, I mean, it's nothing but a rattle. I mean, I feel for these people. I mean, you need a,
I think it's more important that they get something in those bills, that they get additional money from TxDOT here to repair our farm and market roads. It's just important, or more important to do that than it is our county roads. Because, you know, we can't let those go back to dirt.
but one of the other things is the Transportation Commission, when they're watching these bills, they're watching out, you know, they see TxDOT, they don't see us, you know, the little counties, we're the ones that get overlooked, and that's why we need help. And so that's how we ended up doing this, and and going about it. And my hope is that we can, enter in with the WIT. If Judge Till does it, that would bring us down to, $30,000. And as Commissioner Dubnik said, well, that's an employee. That's one full-time employee for 1 year for 365 days a year. And that's exactly what the contract says. And so that's a minimal fee to have somebody watching these bills every day. And we're not paying transportation costs to Austin. We're not staying a night in Austin. And we don't have the money to do that either. I mean, for October, November, and December, just my gas bill alone's been over $700 a month. I've made a lot of trips to Austin. I've had Pete with me. I mean, we're there. I mean, some days it's back to back, and those are draining days when you're not able to get. I mean, we need help. We need help from. I mean, our guys are struggling. People are struggling. I mean, we're all, the Permian Basin. They've rebuilt this, fight tons of times, and it's just. We all need to join together and help. And the counties that are not hurting are really not interested in these bills. They're not interested in county roads. They're not interested because it's not happening to them.
Have you talked to our representative? Is he gonna be helping?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Well, $45,000 buys besides looking.
That's okay. We're gonna do this up here, and you
Excuse
had.
me, you've already allowed other people. to
No,
use-
no, Mr. Yarder, you've already talked. That's not, Mr. Villanueva, Sheriff, will you help me? We're gonna keep order in this courtroom. Thank you, Sheriff. So anyway, our issue is, it's just, we need help. Our county needs help, our road needs help, these people living on county roads, we've got over 50% of our population, we have school buses and ambulances and stuff that are all gonna need help, and we're gonna have to figure out a way. Jeff says, well, I'm up and I'm going, but we've got to help.
Well, I know that I can't be up there. I've been up there. I've been with them, and they're all very nice and polite, but when they have legislative session, we need someone else to represent us.
It's like a rat race, huh?
We can't do it ourselves.
Not that well.
I think investment of $22,500 or $30,000 when we stand to get maybe a couple of million back is a cheap investment. That's my opinion.
We need somebody to represent us, huh? We wanna make a motion, we're gonna do the other process. What do you wanna do?
I'll make a motion that we enter into an interlocal agreement with DeWitt and other similarly situated counties, contract for professional services with Steve Holtheiser, consultant to attend, assist, represent, and communicating positions on legislation and administrative action to the Texas legislature and executive agencies of the state of Texas. Allow county judge to execute if approved.
I second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
The only reason I'm gonna oppose is because I figured we could have went through 2 or 3 of them and met a few other ones before we. I
I guess
don't.
it waited too long.
Yeah, I understand. No, it's a great idea. That's the only reason.
Thank you.
I had some people that I talked with within our area, different precincts and stuff, and mainly mine. And they're, at this time, they're not really in favor of going this route at this time. Let's be exhausted of that.
Number 13 on the agenda is to discuss, approve, disapprove, amending the budget to pay for the consulting services of Steve Holzhauer's amendment to be determined by the participating counties, 1-year contract for $90,000. That's the $90,000 that DeWitt paid, and the maximum amendment will be for $45,000, and the minimum will be for $22,500. I will know the exact number when Judge Till and Judge Huff call me back.
Shouldn't we wait to approve this until we know the figure?
But we're gonna have to sign the contract when it comes in. And I asked Ross if we could do it like this, and he said we could. He said, because you're telling people exactly what you're going to do.
But there's won't be a contract till we know what Judge Teal or Judge Huff are
Right.
doing.
But I'm telling you what it's gonna be. It's either gonna be $22,500, $3,000, or
22,500, 30,000.
$30,000 or $45,000. and Ross said it could be on here like that.
And we have to split it based on the number of counties. We can't just agree to pay 22.5 towards his cost.
No, because it was Judge Huff, Judge Till, Judge Fowler, and I were up there. And we're trying to do the best for our county, is all we're trying to do.
Is this considered an emergency?
It is for people that live on the county roads.
Oh, I understand. I know. But I mean,
Not an appropriate answer.
I understand that
It is.
100%, but I mean for
we
us
can-
here that we sit up
Yes, we
here.
can amend it, yes, we can.
But it's not an
Says
emergency.
who?
We can amend it.
Says who?
I'm sorry, but we can amend it. That's not, I mean, there's not, we can hire consultant services and amend to hire them. I mean, when I went to the meeting on the 18th and we were finally getting down into it, we realized we needed help. We can look into it in a minute. We can work for our citizens, we can do that.
I don't believe it'd be classified as an emergency, James, but I think it would be classified as an unforeseen
Unforeseen.
circumstance.
We can do it.
Not true.
I will make a motion that we amend the budget to pay for the consulting services of Steve Holdheiser. Amendment to be determined by the non-participating counties, one-year contract for services of $90,000. Amendment will be a maximum of $45,000 to a minimum of $22,500.
I'll say.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed?
I have to oppose to that. I didn't go on the
All versus number 13.
Motion carries 3-2. Number 14 is to discuss, approve, disapprove a modification of contract number 8098-002 HCSCEDM 2F1G156P004 and allow the county judge to execute. That's a GO amendment. That has, I mean, it's a, they call it a modification of contract, and that's what it is. It's the same ones we've been doing for forever. Here it is if you want to see it.
All you need is a motion.
Mm-hmm.
I make a motion to approve modification of contract order number 80-98-0024/8 SCEDM 12-F-1G156 P0004 and allow county judge to execute.
I'll second.
All in favor? Yes, sir. ICE and GO. And we do so many of them, I get confused. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries. What it is, Shelby, is every contract that they do is a pass-through through us. We do all their fees. Luana does all their billing, and all of it goes through the county. So you'll see that. The next is Brenda, tax collector's report.
Good morning. Okay, the report for the month of December for the county. Taxes collected for the month of December, $1,180,419.61. Total year to date, $1,794,640.77 for a collection rate of 22.27%. Delinquent taxes collected for the county, month of December, $10,876.70. Year to date, $25,481.86 for a collection rate of 12.7772%. Okay, road and bridge, month of December, $280,487.30. Year to date, $426,013.31 for a collection rate of 22.1135%. Delinquent taxes collected for road and bridge for the month of December, $1,378.37. Year to date, $3,088.99. Delinquent collection rate of 16.5572%. A rural fire on the December. Rural fire for the month of December, $147,574.65. Year to date, $224,907.67 for a collection rate of 22.3543%. Delinquent taxes for a rural fire for the month of December, $787.93. Year-to-date, $1,758.80, for a collection rate of 18.6454%.
Thank you, Brenda. Bye. Discuss, examine, approve, treasurer's report.
Everyone should have a copy of my report. And Shelby, if you'll give me your email, I'll make sure I email yours to you.
And also on that first sheet, where everybody signs.
Oh,
fill it for our-
sorry. Let me just change where it was.
I'll change it.
My bad, I'm sorry.
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
You look so tall without that podium
I
there.
know. Like something's missing.
I'm not used to just seeing you straight. Did you have anything, Vi, that needed to be pointed out? Is there anything Luana y'all are good?
Motion to accept treasurer's report is filed. Second it.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? None, motion carries 5-0.
And Jess Williams will be here at the end of this month, the next meeting, to kind of talk about the Vitality Program, kind of give a quarterly report of what's going on with the insurance and whatnot. That was something we wanted him to do as our agent, be more involved, so he will be here at the end of July.
Is that that?
January.
Is that that thing that we did last time, Vi?
Yeah, we all went and did blood work and stuff, yeah.
So we're gonna do that again?
No, he's just gonna give a report on how many people
Oh, okay,
participated,
okay.
what we can do for the
I'm
next
like, wow,
step.
you're trying to keep us real healthy.
I am.
How many times are you gonna take off
A
blood?
lot.
Payment of bills? Thank you.
Judge, as I mentioned earlier, I want you to, being that I work with EMS and we are compensated a little bit, I have some, prepared two, ones in here that are just, I'll pull them out and pay them, so.
Either that, Shelby, or you can just not vote on those.
Okay.
You can vote on all those and abstain from the EMS bill. You wanna do that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Most everything is normal run-of-the-mill expenditures. On page 3, about halfway down, you'll see an expense to Delay Enterprises LLC for $15,519. That is for all the blinds in the new annex of 210 West Calvert. That was included in the budget.
I just want to point out something. I know there's some Christmas party expense on here, and everybody said, well, you guys said y'all weren't going to pay for the Christmas party out of that. I said, that's a separate budget. Those are donated items. The county did not pay for those.
That is correct.
So we're
We
just-
are just paying the bills from donations that
Right,
we
and
received.
I just wanted to reiterate that to anybody that looks at the bills. We did not expect anybody to pick up the payment on that. That was donated funds, right?
Yes. If you'll go to page 9, under road and bridge expenditures, the very bottom entry to French Ellison Truck Center for $165,021. That is for the 2013 Kenworth T470, which is the water truck with 5,500 gallon capacity, also a budgeted item.
So we get to get it now?
Total expenditures for this cycle, $379,128.63.
Is that a budgeted item? Page 9.
Be for bridge inspection,
Expenses and inflation.
bridge inspection.
Bridge inspection.
That was the one Pete that TechStop wanted me to have that bridge done with another company. So we hired a firm to do the bridge inspection on there, and we got the report on it. And they got some stuff we have to do to the bridge now, so that's what the deal is for. TechStop, they'll check the bridges, but for us to get somebody signed off on it, we have to hire our own engineering firm to check the bridges. That's what that's good for.
Jeff, that's not that contract that you initially brought me, is it? The
Yes.
plots?
Yes.
Okay, when we do those, if we sign those contracts, they have to come through court, okay?
Oh, okay.
Because if they don't come through court, they're really not a valid contract. It has to be approved through the commissioners, and we can't give you the authority to sign them, and we can't take away our authority to sign them, so please make sure those come through court,
Oh, okay.
okay?
And that is the Plato Creek Bridge.
Yes, sir. The one there by Mr. Chen's up there by his place. That's single lane bridge right out of Rome.
The one that we first went and looked at had a hole in it, y'all
Yes,
patched
sir.
up.
Yes, sir.
So do we need to amend the budget or
The
do?
expense line item that's being paid out of is
Okay.
bridge repairs.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's good enough. I make a motion that the auditor
Pay bills.
pays bills.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? You gonna abstain, Shelby? Shelby's gonna abstain. Motion carries 4-0. Thanks for reminding me, Shelby. And now it's gonna be reports of fees, fines, and monies collected from the following department, the county clerk. Carol left one for me up here. Carol, did you wanna tell me what your total was? Okay, her total was, she collected $56,277.50, and she dispersed checks for $13,128.10, so her total for the month was $43,149.40. And who's next? The district clerk, Denise, I saw you. There you are. Oh, you got your hair down. Y'all come incognito on me.
If you want to read it, my criminal and.
Okay, so she has a total of $15,350.25 collected.
For my
Total-
criminal,
Ma'am,
for my criminal,
for your
for my
criminal?
criminal side, yes.
Okay. And then, that says including Attorney General. What else do you usually read, Denise? I see the pre-sentence investigation, the pretrial diversion.
Yeah, that's my criminal, the 1530,
Okay,
3,500, no, 350.25
Okay.
was collected, my criminal report.
all right.
Then my civil report is $15,825.85. And that includes my attorney general,
Thank
what I
you.
collect from them.
Thank you, Denise. Carol, do you have a copy? You've got one?
I have one.
And then who's next? County Attorney Herb, you just, okay. Justice of the Peace, did anybody get anything from you again? No?
They do not provide a report that a witness,
By statute, we're supposed to get one. I've asked them for it.
why have to, well, they do.
And you can ask them.
I think I will.
The next one is the Juvenile Department. Oh, Nita's not here. She's the one that prepares that. I'm sorry. She's out on sick leave, so I didn't see her this week. Special projects. Okay, in the packet earlier, we had 14 development permits handed in for a total of $350, and 12 OSSF permits for a total of $3,000. Thank you, Brenda. Does that finish everybody? It does. Okay, the next one is going to be report from Road and Bridge. It's Jeff.
Morning, everybody.
better, Jeff? You look better. Not as much tape on your face.
This is work orders and stuff that came in, and some of them are the ones that we completed. But I want to point out, first time in 2.5 years of being in road, we have 7 maintainers running. As of Monday, we've been running 7 maintainers. Last week we ran some, but I'm running 7 maintainers, and that's the first time it happened. Had another gentleman walk through the door this morning, equipment operator. I hired the gentleman. We're going to start fulfilling. It looks like we're on the uproar of getting where we need to go so we can work these roads more. I got 3 belly dumps running. I get this one more operator, I'll be able to man 4 belly dumps next week, and we're going to start rolling. We're getting there, just taking time. But that's exciting news that I got about that, because I'm quite excited about it. And then when I get another man walk through the door, that's pretty good. Any of you guys want to see the cost on Shelby talked about it yesterday, and he gave me some good ideas and stuff. But anybody wants to see the cost on the roads and stuff, for us to print it out, it's a lot of paper to do that. Anybody feels free can walk into our office, the back room where me and Rick share a computer. Y'all can come over there and get on the computer and pull up on our work orders and go to where we spend money on the roads and stuff. And if you want a copy of it, we can take and print it out for you guys. But y'all are welcome to step in, get on the computer, and pull up the roads where we're spending the money and where the money is going on those roads. And I think that's going to be one good way to work with it. Shelby's going to get on where he can access our computer and see what's going on at all times, which that was a good idea there, Shelby.
My comment to Jeffrey was, I was looking at the bills, and I noticed that County Road had this much, this county road had associated charges, but I asked, what are these charges? Was it for, what the item was in quantity? And I know there's a, what's that program called again?
Precinct Tracker.
Precinct Tracker, where you input all the information to it, you can provide response. From my understanding, you can provide response to these work orders. You can track the work that was done, which in turn you'll be able to track your labor and the amount of how much money you're actually spending on that one road.
And
How much material you put on it, the labor, the material, whatever supplies you that associate to that
All right,
cost.
you'll have your trucking costs will be on there, your fuel costs will be on there, the equipment, the maintainer that runs on that road, the packer, the amount of labor we spend on that road is all going to get put in. But it's going to take us time to get it all done, but we're going to start doing a lot of that.
And in turn, I think you'll be able to get a better budget number come budget year. You'll have your report that you always are asking about. But it's going to take a little, nobody's been around to actually been inputting the stuff in. If they have, they're behind. And so I'm going to spend a little time there trying to input all that information, try to get us a cost, which in turn may help the county, what do you want to call them, lobby, give them some information as to
They'll give an idea of what we're spending on the front road.
Plus, we'll be able to target areas, I think, that you have really bad areas. I know I've driven these roads, a lot of them, and y'all have there. You've got some where the roads have been taken care of by the oil field, but after that, they just strictly travel. They're all torn up, and there's patches where the county has gained the maintenance area and hit bridges and stuff. So there's a lot of things we need to look at.
Christmas is the time off for the oil field, between Christmas and New Year's, from about Thanksgiving to New Year's, they all go see their families, so be expecting to see the rigs come pulling in. They should start this week or
They're
next
done doing
week.
it. We can see the traffic that's coming through our office now.
Well,
They ain't taking enough time back.
No.
compared to what's getting ready to come in, I think
I
so.
know four of them went home and four of them stayed.
We have a couple of guests. Come on, guys. This is a gentleman that, Dave is the man that I bought the John Deere equipment from. He just wants to come in and introduce himself to you guys and kind of explain some of the warranty and stuff and how he works with us and everything. So, Dave.
Thank you, Jeffrey. This is Matt Turner. He's our shop manager. We wanted to come in and say hello and introduce ourselves to you fellas. I'll give each one of you one of my cards in case you have any questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Wanted to tell y'all that we appreciate the leap of faith that y'all took and Jeffrey took with us to invest in John Deere equipment. We had worked on this for quite some time, and we know that when those two motor graders came out, that there was some concern, because there's sometimes with new equipment, sometimes you're going to have an issue or a bit of a failure here and there, and we had a couple of really unexpected issues with these machines, where one of them had a short in the wiring system, and the other one had an engine issue. And so we wanted to talk to you guys about that, because we know that there was a little bit of wondering if y'all had made the correct decision by going with us. And so I wanted to reassure you that you had, and that what we're doing here to support our commitment to you to make sure that you are up and running with these machines. The one issue on the wiring harness on the one motor grader has already been taken care of. We completely replaced the wiring harness, and being that we could not find the short, so we just put in a whole new harness and got that taken care of. And I believe that we did that in the off hours when the fellows weren't working.
Yes.
So that over the holidays, that we would not detract from any time that the workers would need to use the equipment and work on the roads. As for the other unit, what we did, there was and again, these failures that happened on this machine are extremely unusual. In 14 years that I've been here, I've never seen us have a problem with an engine on a motor grader, but we did have a big problem with this engine. So in keeping you guys up and running, what we did was, and our policy is to provide you a loaner machine free of charge. And so we delivered out the motor grader for you guys to use for free. And while we brought in the other motor grader, and we wound up replacing the engine on that. Instead of going through and doing a rebuild on the engine, we felt that brand new motor grader deserves a brand new engine at a cost of approximately $30,000 to us. But our commitment to you guys is very important, and we wanted you to know that we're standing behind you. So therefore, the loaner was free. The repairs on the other unit will probably be out this week.
Yeah, the one with the engine will be done tomorrow.
And then we'll bring that out. And
they, on their warranty deal, they told us how fast they can get us a piece of equipment to replace the one that went down. The machine went down that morning. That afternoon, we had a replacement machine running. So that's a big step, and my hats off to the guys for what they did for us, and they are standing behind the equipment right now. And right now, we're running forward, and the equipment's doing good, and we can really cover some. They outdo the old Caterpillar 2-to-1. They're covering a lot of dirt, a lot of machines.
Young man can outdo me.
That is for sure. You know, I wish I would have brought more copies of this, and I didn't even think about it, but if y'all could share these, I brought 2 copies of the RDO Promise, and this tells you basically what we're talking about. That basically in my job, when you're trying to sell a piece of equipment, to make yourself, what is it that adds value to doing business with John Deere and RDO equipment versus Holt or Volvo or the other guys? And one of the biggest values that I have is this RDO Promise, for where we will bring you a loaner free of charge. And the biggest thing, like Jeffrey was talking about, is that under the RDO Promise, you are promised a 4-hour response rate. If you call in and say, this machine is down, you get put to the top of the list, and we'll have a technician on the way to you within 4 hours of your call. If we can't fix that machine within 36 hours, we provide the loaner free of charge. However, in this case of the motor failure, we knew it couldn't be done within 36 hours, so we had the loaner that very same day. And so any manufacturer is going to have an equipment failure here and there, something's going to happen, and the best response we can have to provide value is the way that we respond to you, and the guys never missed a minute of time doing business with RDO, and we'll see that our relationship is based on trust, and that we are going to provide the service that you fellas need and deserve out here for investing in our company.
Hey, you offer you have every equipment company usually has an ace operator that shows people how to run their equipment. You know, everything's changes all the time, but I'm saying that you take the motor grader itself has different features. that some people never know how to use because they don't know they're even there.
Yes, sir.
And y'all have somebody that does that?
Well, actually, when the equipment came out, I did a walk around in the equipment and we did a class for about an hour and a half with the fellows, and we always do, for no charge. And I went through the features of the machine and showed the guys how to use it. We talked about safety, as well as we talked about maintenance of the machine, what to watch out for. And then I've always offered, that if there is a new fellow that comes in and we have a new operator, that I'll be glad to come on out and do it with him one-on-one or with several new fellows, whatever needs to make sure that they're safe.
What we're doing with these, the new machine guys only, and just like I'm doing with the new trucks, one operator. I believe that's going to be for the future. I think the machines will last a lot longer than trucks will never. And you ought to see the way these guys are taking like the trucks and the maintenance. I mean, you off the floor of these things right now.
Treat 'em like they're done.
Yeah, they're treating them right down, yeah. Oh, they're proud of it, believe me. They love it.
I like John Deere, I don't have a problem with John Deere, but what actually happened to the engine?
That's got electronic unit injectors in it, and the number 6 injector went open.
Pumped into the
So when
engine?
it hung open, it actually didn't pump it in there, it leaked it into on top of the cylinder. And then it got cranked one time, came up, it actually bent number 6, the intake and exhaust push rod, which, and that's why it was,
Okay,
that's why there was oil, or, sorry, diesel in the oil and whatnot, so that's what happened.
okay. No problem.
Just a mechanical failure on it.
I thought it was something more, I mean, that's major, but that can happen.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. And y'all put in a brand new engine?
Brand new, it's already in, they're just doing the final calibrations on it today.
A big six-wheel drive.
Yeah, I know, I was talking to Jeff about it.
Kind of wish we would have bought those now. It's a big difference.
That machine will be working too.
Yeah.
The John Deere motor graders are awesome. And I'd be lying if I didn't say when this happened with these failures and everything, it was like a real punch in the gut to me, because I'm so proud of them and the faith that was put in, you know, from y'all and also, you know, from Jeffrey to us and everything. It was so important for us to be able to come in and put our best foot forward. And that's why I'm so proud that our company offers this promise to you, because I know that I can back up what I say to you.
The John Deere blades also what the guys like about them, like you're running down the county road and you need to dive into a driveway to fix somebody's driveway up. The turning radius on them is awesome. I mean, you don't even have to turn your articulator, but you want a sharper turn, you kick in your articulator and you can only, circle is small. It's amazing. They're real
Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming to see us, and
Appreciate it.
Thank you, and thank you for your time.
Appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate that.
Jeff, thank you. Okay, next is Luana.
I left my report at y'all's position yesterday afternoon, in case you've had a chance to review it. You will go to the next to the last page, you will see the county's current fiscal year debt requirements. We have not had any payments due yet. Our first one is due January 15th. The last page is other items of interest. Total county funds available as of December 31st, $15,165,633.56. Total county funds invested as of the same date, $14,650,598.60. So non-invested funds as of December 31st was $515,034.96. Sales tax receipted December 17th, 2012, $897,322.30. Sales tax for the same time period in 2011, $349,408.23, for an increase of $547,914.07. We have received a reimbursement in December from the Historical Commission of $8,512.46. I have one prepared, ready to submit after I get signatures for a little over $65,000. And just for your information, any mileage reimbursement rates for conference travel, etc., increases effective January 1st to 56.5 cents from the 55.5 cents that it was based on IRS rates.
So Luana, are we getting our money back from the attorneys that worked on?
We have received one reimbursement from them.
And if we're not getting reimbursement, we need to do something to let them know, please let them know. Thanks, Luana. Shelby, you're next.
Okay, I met with Vi, and just briefly, and I got a copy of the employee handbook. It needs a lot of modifications. So next week, Vi and I are gonna get together. I've talked with Carol, and I wanna form a committee, these department heads, and let's start going over this, the handbook. Also, Barbara gave me the name of a lady with TAC. I've been trying to get in touch with her, and hope to see her today. And I want her to assist us in creating another, an updated, human resources handbook. As well as, there's new employees been hired. We need to cover, I know there's a lot of training that needs to be done, just to remind, you've got your EO policies and stuff like that. We need to revisit all those so everybody's on board, at least the new people that have been hired, as well as, I think, newly elected people as well. Also, I talked with Carol the other day. We need to get this is kind of off of it a bit, but I want to try to get, talk to the hospital and get somebody, schedule a time so we can get everybody trained on the CPR and the AED thing.
That's all you got? You done, Shelby? You're next, Pete.
Okay, on the annex, I had a call from Vogel a couple of weeks ago, said he was closing out the account. I called Kruger and asked if they had the final bill. He said, no, we're going to send it to them. I don't know whether that was last week. Since first of the year, I called Kruger. Anyway, they have to get their final bill to them so they can close out with Vogel on the annex. And then we all did report about it.
And, the building for the special projects, I saw that the guy, trailer was parked there, he's working on it?
He's working on it. What I did, I asked him to go ahead and do the floor. You know, the floor tile in there is asbestos 9x9 tiles. And you can cover them up with the 1-foot tiles. And so I had the section that he's working on scheduled to be done. And I told him, go ahead and give us a price on the other, and I haven't gotten that price yet. But the one said we can take money from somewhere else and spend it on that. It doesn't have to come before the court. We have money in grant maintenance, really. So we're gonna cover the whole floor with tile for now. And I think Shelby will probably need an office, and we'll have that one office in front that he probably can have.
You know, we'll say that. Also, how many offices will be in there? You think?
Well, there are two, there'll be room for 3 offices. There'll be one going in now. And then there'll be room for another one to get this done.
Because I hadn't really talked with Tracy yet, but I was thinking yesterday that I was talking with Jeffrey, is that I really think the permit guy, the permit people, maybe should be where the maps and everything else are, so when we look at something, if we have questions or something, because you know you're gonna move the 911 person there, and also special projects. And I'm thinking maybe when we put all the permit where all the maps are and everything, it might be simpler, and
Put it all together.
put it all together. Just a thought.
However it works.
Yeah. But I'm just because it'll be, to me, I just hadn't really talked to Tracy about it. But I think it'd make it more.
But it should be, he told me last week, in 2 weeks, he said it should be ready. 2 weeks.
That's our hope. are you done, Shelby?
Just move.
James?
Nobody
Oh,
knows.
I'm sorry, Pete.
No,
I
you were-
apologize. Did you say we're done? Okay, now James.
Everything's going smoothly, we're still cleaning up out there, we just got the brush
Looks good
on.
out there. It's nice and
Everything's been
clean.
going good, the problems are already. Okay, burn those tires, they're gonna see the smoke.
TCEQ did not hear you say that. The next one is status on permits at you, Tracy.
Okay, in the month of December, on all the entrances, road bores and, water lines, we've taken in 49,210 for the month of December of 2012. We end out the year about almost 600,000.
Good job, Tracy. All right, the next item on the agenda is to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None, motion carries.
That's over with, the new bird.